We are back. The Lafayette alma mater being played right now as the players address their fans. We will hopefully talk to head coach Frank Tavani, and we're hoping that we can speak to Brandon Bryant, who had an outstanding ball game on the defensive side of the football. Total yardage tonight for Lafayette, 189. Delaware put together 342 yards, 276 of those on the ground. And Lafayette's points on the board, a couple of field goals tonight by Jake Bissell. That was it. Lafayette had some good scoring opportunities. They just were not able to put 7 up on the board. Frank working his way over to John Leone, and we'll send it down to John. Here he is.
Thanks, Gary. Coach, you know, you look back in this game, 7 minutes left. It's 10-6. You're in this football game. I understand. But take us through the play. I saw your reaction when the corner got beat on the touchdown pass. Take us through it.
Well, we sold out on the run. I mean, you know, we took a chance, but the corner shouldn't be selling out in the run. And he got run by a couple times, and certainly going to take another shot. And that's to their good coaching job. You know, you had the opportunity down here when that fumbled punt, and we score a touchdown. You get a penalty. We overthrow the guy wide open. You got to make plays, John, when you have those opportunities. Certainly proud of the effort, but there's no consolation prize. Oh, hey, you played him tough. That's bull. Okay. A loss, whether it's by that or 40, 50, or 1, is a loss. And we got a lot of stuff to do and a lot of work to do.
Coach, I've been around you for a long, long time, and if there's a coach in the country who understands you got to run the football, you got to stop the run. I'll tell you what, Delaware tonight, you look at the numbers, and the last thing you told me before the game started, we got here about an hour and a half early before the game, and I saw some of those guys without their pads on. There's some athletes on that team. Did they wear you down?
Well, I think, you know, we started to get a little discouraged, and when you're humping the ball like that, baby, that's the kind of football, you know, I like to play. So a lot of credit to Delaware. Outstanding football team, well coached. Coach Brock's doing a great job there with those kids, and, you know, we got to go back to the drawing board. It's a loss. Can't feel good about it, but got to go back to work tomorrow.
I understand that, Coach, and you'll be in the office working on it. Tell us a little bit about, again, you know, Princeton on the road. Not so much Princeton, but the mentality of this team. You know, there are a lot of questions coming into this year. You're coming off a real disappointing season last year. And, Coach, I'll tell you what, early on in this game, a lot of eyebrows were raised. I mean, the expectations were kind of raising, and then all of a sudden dashed.
Well, you know, again, there's no consolation. You know, we got beat, and it's a credit to Delaware. We certainly know that we got a lot of fight in the dog. This team will fight you to the bitter end. And this one's gonna bite a little bit. They're gonna look at film and see the misplays, especially down here in the end zone. You turn the momentum around, you score there. That doesn't happen, but a lot of credit to them. You know, they made huge plays at the right opportunity, and we certainly look like we wore down a little bit.
Well, Coach, I know you'll get them going for next week. Good luck down at Princeton.
Appreciate it.
Good deal. Brandon Bryant, I'll tell you what, if ever, you know, one of my partners over here on the set for the Lafayette Sports Network is an old number 33 himself, and you did him proud tonight. Talk us through the first half and what enabled you to make the plays you made.
The biggest thing about the first half is our coaches game planned it amazingly. They told us everything that was going to happen. We knew exactly what to expect when we came into the game, and we just had to execute it, which we did in the first half. But
I know, you know, talking to a college football player, you guys wouldn't mind playing all 60 minutes. Just give it to us, put it on our shoulders. It's just not realistic. Did you feel the defense getting a little tired at the end, or you know, what was the reaction?
Well, I mean, of course, as the game goes on, your body gets a little tired. It was a little hot, but that's no excuse. You just got to kind of fight through it. But every once in a while, you do need a break. But that's why you have backups, and you trust who's behind you.
Exactly. Well, Delaware is a good football team for a large part of this game. You guys did a terrific job tonight. Get ready for Princeton. Good luck down there, Brennan. Congratulations on a great game. Gary, Michael, a hard-fought game. Lafayette let it slip away at the end. Back to you guys.
All right, John, thank you very much. John's got a little more work to do as he'll go over and finish up with Phil and Mo. But first, we've got some highlights of tonight's ball game, and that means I turn it over to my man. Here is Mike Joseph.
Game recap. Here we go. Highlights. It was a little bit of Deontay Cherry, and he came up big in the beginning of the game and at the end. 2 catches for 18 yards on this opening drive, which sets up that Frank Rago field goal from 43 yards out. Delaware's on the board, 4:03 left in that quarter, and then it really kind of got the Matt Mrazek show on this drive. 3 catches for 42 yards on this drive. It sets up a 27-yard field goal by Jake Bissell, and Jake knocks it through, and we're tied at 3-3, and Lafayette playing going toe-to-toe with a NCAA opponent. And then the fumble here. This is a big fumble, and you see Eric Mitchell. He's going to jump on it at the 10-yard line, and it sets up, like Frank talked about, 3 big plays. And we don't show those plays, but this led to a field goal. Lafayette is the lead 6-3, but 3 wide open receivers and a holding call. And then you just saw things wear down. That was a 3rd down and 8 where Delaware decided to run the football, and that sets up the 16-yard run by Thomas Jefferson and Randolph. Those were the 2 guys that had to step up tonight for a guy at West Hills who went down with a bad elbow injury in that first quarter. And then on really a 3rd down and a bundle, they ended up getting some yardage, creating a 4th and 6. Deontay Cherry, we saw him a few times behind the Lafayette secondary, and then late in the game here, you're going to see a turnover, and that ball's taken by Ray Jones down inside the 20-yard line, and it sets up another touchdown here by Jalen Randolph. So this game was a lot closer than the score 24-6, but I give Lafayette a lot of credit. You know, a lot of people didn't give Lafayette a big chance coming off a 1-10 season. I thought the defense played well. I thought the offensive line blocked well pass protection-wise. But they got to find a way, Gary, to start to run the football, because you cannot win games averaging 2 and less than 3 yards a carry. There's got to be some openings. I don't even think Deshaun Brown would have made a big difference tonight up front. Lafayette got a turnover. They need to capitalize there, and the young guys have to start making some plays. You're in there. Coaches have confidence in you. You got to make a play when it's there, and I thought Drew Reed had some time tonight, but they just didn't make any plays enough to get them over the hump.
And the schedule doesn't get any easier. Next week they'll take on a team they've played 48 times, or it'll be the 48th game. They've only beaten Princeton 1 time. Mike and I will be back with you next Saturday night for a 5 o'clock kickoff from Princeton Stadium. So we invite you to join us. So for Mike and I, we'll send it down to Phil and Mo and to John as they'll wrap everything up. For all of us, we thank you for spending time with us. Here's John.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Michael. Again, a great job as usual. We've come to expect it from you guys. Not a particularly easy game to call. Not a whole lot of action until the end. But, you know, Mo, I'm going to come to you first, because for the better part of 3.5 quarters, this was a hard-fought, tooth-and-nail football game. But I think it was clear the size and strength of Delaware's front 5 on offense, front 7 on defense, really took its toll on the Leopards. As a former defensive player, I know these guys want to say we can do it, we can hang in there. What is it really like?
I mean, it's tough, man. I was standing over there on the sideline with Marvin Snipes and Justin Stovall there. We were talking about it, and at the end of the game, Delaware, they went full scholarship on you. and that's what we can. They went full scholarship on you, in that they have a bunch of big boys across the front lines, and over time they can rotate guys in and out. And you saw Brandon Bryant there at the end in the 4th quarter. I've never seen the kid take himself out of a game. Looked like he came out of the game. The guys were just tired at the end. So that run with that beef up front, eventually it wears on you. Those guys are leaning on you for a full 60 minutes. It caught up to the Leopards in the end.
It was clear that that was the case, and I saw some of these guys walking out of the locker room in the pregame in their without their pads, and they were some big boys. And that's what you were worried about. But, Phil, you know, when you play this game, you've got to have balance in the offense.
Sure do.
I thought the offensive line blocked fairly well. Drew had some time. But when you become that one-dimensional, it makes it tough.
It definitely does, you know, and if you can't run the ball and you can't also give a little time to the quarterback to stretch that field, that box within which you can operate becomes so small. And it just gets tough to operate your offense within that.
Yeah, everything was underneath. There really wasn't a big play in the game. I don't even think there was an attempt at a big play. Credit to Delaware. It's a very good football team. They play in one of the, arguably the best conference in the division. Let's move forward. What do you take out of this game, Maurice, as a former player? You're 1-1. You left it out there on the field. You played against the quality opponent. What do you take going into Princeton?
Well, hey, listen, standing on the sidelines there, obviously Coach Tavani was hot after we give up that big pass play there for a touchdown. But if you step back, survey the scene here, no one gave the Leopards a real shot coming into this game. And if you're telling me middle of the 3rd quarter we got a 6-3 football game, I mean, that's something you can hang your hat on. That's something that you can be proud about as momentum that you can carry over into the next week.
Phil, what's fixable on the offensive side?
Well, unfortunately, not as much as on the defensive side. Again, you take out of this, that's good. But again, you just got to work that front 5. Just got to work together. Got to gel a little bit better. You know, we need Joey Chenoweth back. I think he's got a little bit of a problem with his groin, and so he's not able to quite get that speed and spread that field out. And also, you got Yasir Thomas, who you're getting him some experience, and I think you'll get some big plays out of him eventually.
Yeah, he's going to be a good one. He had a couple drops tonight. He's a freshman, and Delaware is an experienced football team. Guys, it was a great first broadcast. Thanks so much for your help and your support. The Lafayette Sports Network will be back next week at Princeton. Remember, that's a 5 o'clock start down at Princeton. Another quality opponent for the Leopards, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks right here as we entertain Villanova. That ought to be a great. I'm sorry, not Villanova. I'm sorry. Is it Villanova?
In 2 weeks. Yeah,
My goodness. Who made up this schedule? This is crazy. Fellas,
Good
thanks
one.
again.
Competitive football. That's what we like.
Competitive, not bad. Fellas, thanks again. Congratulations to all of our first responders tonight on the eve of 9/11. Thanks for all your service to the country. And thanks to the great staff here and the support for LSN. For all of us, from all of you, that'll do it for us. Good night, everybody.